Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Investing in You today, unlocking the doors to financial empowerment with featuring social Faculty of Social Sciences and our FET ambassadors. Um, Today we have with us Monique Powell, Javine Brown, Lakeisha Locke, Tanaj Cunningham, Shanaki Patrick, and Ronaldo Ramsey, who are all FET ambassadors and USAT ambassadors as well. So right now, a big things are going to go on the live here. Right now, if you want to know how to be financially independent, this is the place to be. So just tell me how you're doing and how exams are treated. Right now, just a come out at two and I've put on my glasses because be a thumb them at home, you see me? So how has exam been going for you so far? Just type in the chat, you see me? So so a few of the things that of the topics that we'll be looking at today are how to finance your tertiary education, how to budget effectively, how to start a side hustle at university, saving as a university student, and goal planning. If there are any other questions that you would like us to answer or to get answered today, you can feel free to type it in the chat. Show us some love, man. You see me? News just in, we have a lot of giveaways as well. So yeah, man, place are buzzy. Place are go well buzzy. Just waiting on everyone to come in so we can start the discussion so you can learn more about being financially stable and unlocking the doors to financial empowerment as a student. Because you see, with this, with financing, you have to start from an early age, and that is how you get ahead of the game. So we really, these are things that we have to learn from now. See me? So stay tuned. We have more coming up. All right, so having a little bit of technical difficulties. Bear with us. We'll have everything sorted out soon, and we'll begin with the education and the vibes. Vibes and Sosa is synonymous. All right, so one of our speakers is currently with us, Jovian Brown. Jovian, how has your day been so far? You hear me, Jovian? And we have the lovely Tanaj joining in as well.
Hi.
Hi.
I
Oh,
just came out of an
welcome
exam of
to
University of the Stress Indies. So
University of the Stressed Indies.
I guess it's as good as it can be while saying that's just like you.
One, I mean, we're in it for the money, so while we are spending money, we have to make sure so we just try to do what we do. Because at the end of the day, it's the degree that will get us other on the other side of the economical scale. So how has exams been for you, Tanash? You don't look stressed at all, so
Honestly, I can't lie, I'm not stressed. I did two exams already. It wasn't anything too serious, and I have one more next week. So I'd be lying if I said I was really stressed, but just knowing that I have exams gives me a little anxiety. But I'm good so far. I'm good so
well,
far.
I haven't been stressed, but there's a one course I feel like say, oh, I'm gonna give me a little problem, you see me?
But you're going to
So
start it out.
yeah, the no most can't
All
afford
right.
myself another
All
show.
right. All right.
Yes, man. Javian looking like him having internet issues.
Yeah.
I've flow internet, so I think I don't explain further than that.
So now look a bit muffled, repeat. You were saying something, Javian?
I say I flow internet, so I don't think I need to explain further than that.
Yeah, man, oh no, this is how we flow. You see me? Full of tights. Shake. So, alright, so since you guys are here, you want us to begin our discourse or should we wait on the others?
I think we can begin since it's something that will be saved, but I don't know. What do you think, Javine? Oh, he's frozen.
Yeah,
Javine?
man.
Yeah.
Flow of him away.
Okay. Alright, great.
No, I don't. Oh.
Lakisha, I think is trying to join in. So then Flo try to move away with me right now. So,
Hi, girl.
Hi, I've been here all along waiting.
I look like I've got fire with technical stuff. I don't want to take too long here. So how has exams been treating you so far, Lakisha?
I haven't started, so I have my two exams next week, and I don't know. I'm not going to let anything stress me, honestly. I'm just going to do my best, and my best must be enough.
Amen.
Which is right. So, given that we're all facing the effects of flow, and a tropical storm is out. So I believe that we will be just going along and we pick up wherever. So where do we start today? I've before me 5 objectives. I'm not sure which of these you would deem the most important or the starting point. Would you say to begin goal planning first, or saving, or should we begin saving before we plan, or should we start a hustle before we set out a goal, or to begin saving, or should we start by firstly budgeting effectively, or should we just find a way to finance ourselves as tertiary students, because I mean school fee you have to pay. So where do we begin?
I mean, I think we should start with goal planning. You have to have a goal before you can, start saving, knowing how to save and all, and how to budget. And you have to have a goal to see how you're going to finance your tertiary education and all of something there. So everything ties in with goal planning.
So what is goal planning? What is this goal planning? Is it how I plan to score, or whatever? How wide is the field of goal planning, and as it relates to finance? So give us a background on this, and you can go directly into what it is and what we should do and so on. So
All right, so no Jamoy, goal planning isn't about football and how much goals to score and all them something there. No, no, no. We're talking about finance, money, and all that. So before you actually get into, planning and all, you need to know exactly what you want. So you cannot just say, oh, I'm just going to save $5,000 and that's it. You need to know what you want to work for. So what exactly do you want that you want to set a plan out for? So once you know what you want, then it's easier for you to make a plan as to what you should do or shouldn't do, because I may want to buy a car the next 2 years. Tanaj may want to buy a house next 2 years. Our plan will definitely be different. We cannot use the same plan to get the house and the car, right? So the second thing
yeah,
is when you, of course. So if I want the car the next, say I want the car by 2020, so I want to end 2020 on a good note and get a car. I need to know, okay, so I have 2 months, roughly 2 months leave in the year, so I need to put in a lot of money and savings and a lot of work. But if comparing it to next year now, if I want it next year now, then I have a longer time now to save and all that. And thirdly, how much will it cost to achieve it? So I'm not really a car guru, but I know cars are really expensive. So if the car say is $2 million, then I need to know, all right, how am I going to get the $2 million by next year March, right? How am I going to finance it? Is it that I'm going to save $20,000 a month until I reach, So you have to know how much it costs to know exactly how to plan.
all right. But what if me want to have $1 million by a money? What is there a rule, or should I be more realistic or whatever? Me want $1 million by a money. So
You have
how
to
can
really
you go about that?
stick. I mean, you want how are you going to get $1 million by a morning legally? You have to be realistic,
Legally?
and that is why when you're planning, you have to plan ahead and give yourself time for it. So you can't just get up to that say you want $1 million a morning. I mean, I would really love $1 million by a morning if anyone wants to give me, but you know, I will have to get it and I want it legally, so I have to plan ahead of time, and that is where the plan really comes in. And for you to know when you want it, so you have a time frame to say, all right, this is the time frame I'm working with. So you have to assess your situation and say, all right, I have X amount of months or X amount of years. I need to get all this done before the deadline. So you cannot get $1 million by a man in Jamaica. I don't think that's possible. But if you find a way for that, please do share it with all the university students, because we are broke.
We are indeed. All right. So anything to add to that, Tanaj?
No, I think she covered enough. I would just say think long term, break things up into smaller pieces, and with everything be intentional. So instead of just saying, okay, I want to have $1,000, no, I'm not do that. I want to have $100,000 by the end of the year, right? Why do you want to have $100,000 by the end of the year? Is it because you really want to buy this car or this have money towards a house, or is it because you really want to get into investing? Because attaching your goals to things that you're really passionate about, or like I don't want to say attaching your goals to your dreams or whatever, because they're practically the same thing. But what I'm trying to say is not just don't just say you want to do something and you're going to do it without understanding why, because that why will help to motivate you when you don't feel like saving any money, or when you see all these other things that you want and you look back and say, no, I'm doing this because I want to retire early. I'm doing this because I really want that car. I'm doing this because I know I need to finance my education. Then that's going to help to make it more how can I say this? It's going to make it more bearable when you want to spend that money on food, and you're going to have to put it in, saving. So that's one thing I would add.
Sorry, over food.
And add to that as well. So V and Victoria Mutual, they have a approach to financial independence, and it's really like an outline, a template, where it's 3 steps. So the first thing you should do is assess your situation. The second one, create your plans, and then the third one, track the plans, track what you have been doing, so you know that because of course you may be planning to you know purchase something or have something in the future, and then if you don't track it, of course we'll might mess up, and the money we're supposed to put down a week time we take it and run go KFC. So we have to be accountable. We have to be accountable of that. So you have to track and ensure that you're on the right path. Things always change, and I mean, if there's anything that 2020 has taught us, is that we're never prepared for anything, and anything can happen. So we have to always track. I know a lot of us would have say, all right, 2020 is my year, and like how 2016 was alkaline year, a lot of us would have said 2020 is our year, and we have these big plans and these big dreams and all these things, but then Corona came and everything just kind of mess up. And I don't want us to think of it to say, all right, I'm just going to start over, just going to wait until 2021 to start a whole new plan and all that. You need to assess your situation now, like, all right, Corona is here, I won't be able to I know for some of us we're home now, so no lunch money gone and everything, right? So all right, so that was my source of income. So how are you now going to get a set of income now to help with what your goals are, what you're planning on purchasing or investing in and whatever. And then you also have to track it to say, all right, this is going on, I need to probably fix this, I need to tweak things, anything can happen, and you need to be able to work with all the obstacles that throw your way. Nothing is easy, but we need to ensure that if something happens, we're able to maneuver and, all right, let me just try another way. Then Corona not going to stop me. 2020 is still my year. We have 2 more months in the year, and I think we should make it to the best of our ability, because anything is possible. Corona is here to stay, and we may not be able to accomplish the 10 goals that we set out to, but at least achieve 5 or 4, then it's still a start. So ensure you assess your situation, create your plans. And I mean, creating your plans is one thing, but ensure you're sticking to it. That is a very important point. And then you track it to ensure you're going down the right path.
All right. So right now I have one giveaway, $500 credit. You see me? So who in the chat can tell me what is the financials, the steps, VM steps to financial independence, get $500 credit. Someone will be assessing, and they will a rep will contact you. So drop that in the chat right now. All right. So in continuing, so outside of, so we know say goal planning and how critical goal planning is. But what else after my plan my goal them? should I start to budget, or should I look towards saving the money to finance my plans? Which one do I weigh first?
Well, I can jump in and start talking about how to increase your earning potential and different streams of income that you can have as a student. So, before you get your degree, because you can't save money if you don't have money to save. You can't invest money if you don't have money saved up to invest. So it's really
Sure.
important that we look at that aspect. And even if you're not in the space right now where you feel like you can save a substantial amount of money, it's very important that you learn the skills and work on the talents that you do have. So, maybe when you finish with school and maybe, you don't get a job as early as you'd like, or you do have a job but you'd like some extra money, you have that option because you have these skills that you've worked on and these talents and this experience. So one of the most common ones is starting a business. It's what a lot of people think of when they think of, starting a side hustle or getting extra income as a student. When it comes on to starting a business, I mean, there are a lot of different things you can do. If you're really good with hair, of course, you're going to take the necessary safety precautions, but you can do hair. If you're really good with photography, you can work on that skill and charge persons for sessions. But with COVID, I think the theme of flexibility and being adaptable is very important. So you need to look and say, okay, this is, the atmosphere that we're in right now because of COVID. I'm a student, I'm going to school online. How can I still find ways to make money? One thing I would say is really important is learning to manipulate and work within the digital space. So whether it's, learning about digital marketing and going to different companies and saying, hey, I realize that you guys don't really have a strong online presence, or I see a lot of potential and these are the skills that I have, so I could assist you. You have a lot of these big businesses. They're not on social media, right? They're not on Instagram. And that's a revenue stream or a source of potential customers because, that's a marketplace, a really, really important marketplace in today's generation. So even if it's working on those skills and offering them to persons, that could be a business. You could have a digital marketing agency. A lot of persons, when they think of starting a business, they think it's so out of their reach because they may not have enough capital and they don't know anything. But there's so much information online. There's a wealth of information. I started my first business when I was 16 and I didn't know much, but I just know, listen, I want to make some money. I can buy this, turn it into this, put a little, something on it, and make a profit. And as you grow, your business will grow with you. So you're not going to know everything, and you don't need to know everything to start. But definitely make use of the resources out there to start whatever business you feel will suit you based on the time that you have available and the skills that you do have.
All
So
right.
that's my
So
little
what do
tip.
you say is needed to actually start a side hustle while attending university? What do we need?
Okay, well, what kind of side hustle are you looking to start? Is it a case where, as I said, you want to start a digital marketing agency where you offer marketing services to small businesses who don't have an online presence? You're going to get your certification. There's a lot of freeness online, right? So you have Google Garage. I know UCLA, not UCLA, UCA has a LinkedIn Learning partnership where you can learn about digital marketing. There are a ton of YouTube videos online. A lot of resources that are free. You can get certified or not. And I say, build on these skills, up level your knowledge, so try and learn more, and then offer these skills. If it's a case where, you're not really into the social media or the digital marketing, YouTube and content creation is something that a lot of persons are getting into now. So you may not want to start an agency, but you may have a platform. You can make money off of that. You can become a brand ambassador for a company. If it's a case where you're passionate about hair and hair products and you want to start a hairline, you can do the research. You can, have it sent out by a bearer. Even though it's COVID, there's still a lot of opportunities for you to make money with physical products. So you just need to determine what is it I'm passionate about. How much time do I have on my hands? what skills and talents do I have? What's the need that's in the market? So what is it that people need right now? What is it that people want? And you're going to have to do some brainstorming. You're going to have to look for inspiration online. Just because somebody else did it doesn't mean that you can do it. You just need to put your own spin on it. And go out there and market yourself and make some money.
Which is right, all about the money.
Money is important.
So is Monique with us as yet? Miss Powell? All right. In the interim, while Monique connects, I have another giveaway. VM mature with money. Give voucher, you see me? So what are 4 things that you need to actually get a hustle started? So comment in the chat and a rep will reach out to you. 4 things. Tana's just this a bag of things, so I just 4 out of them alone. So Monique, so saving as a university student, how would do that? Because right now, I'm there, my yard, I never get lunch money, I never have bus fare, because I mean, the furthest I travel from my bed to my living room, string up on the computer and irritate. Family are foreign, they even say, yo, I'm not need nothing, I'm there home, so I'm not get no money. How I save?
Boy, thank you so much for that question, Jamoy. I know that during this quarantine period, a lot of persons wish that while they were at university, they took the time to actually save and put away some money so that during quarantine, they could have little money to spend. And know that is hard, like we know. All right, but the key to saving is all about consistency. And I remember about 2 weeks ago, I met up with this personal trainer, and he was like, you just have to set your goals and know what you're trying to achieve, and you must be consistent with it, because if you're not consistent, you will not see the success and you will not see your end goal or where you're trying to reach. And the problem is that a lot of times we start off good and be like, yeah, man, so this month I go put away a little $5,000. And then next month you say, oh, but we can't be a cook and, examine them something there. We just buy some KFC and about to save the money. So it's really all about consistency. You have to know what you're trying to achieve at the end of the day, set a goal, So whether it is the case that, okay, you're saving to buy something or you just want to save generally, it's important to set a goal, to know where you want to reach, and then you work towards that goal and try to be consistent with it. That is really the key.
So that is the key. So from what should we save? Is there a rule to saving or a logics to saving?
There is. It is important that whenever you get money, you pay yourself first. So a lot of persons, especially as university students, we tend to get money like at the end of the month. And the first thing you should do is pay yourself first. And what we mean by pay yourself first is that you're going to set aside an amount of money to put away in your savings account. So before you do anything else, before you pay any bills, before you buy any groceries or whatever the case is, before you put away your money for go broth, put away some money to save. And then after you put away that money to save, then you can work out what is left and do your budgeting. But I won't get into budgeting because BMFET Ambassador Jovain Brown is going to go in great details with that one.
All right, so Jovain, jump in, man. Because I just learn how to save, so more learn how to budget as well. So
let me just tell you one last thing though, Jamoy. So of course, we're here to represent Victoria Mutual, and Victoria Mutual offers many different packages that you can utilize to save. They have many different savings accounts, and one of them would include the regular savings account, and that is where you can make your regular deposits, whether it is that you want to visit a branch or you want to do it electronically. So, we have the online banking and such. So you can have your regular savings account. If you're not really into the regular savings account, you're into some serious savings, because the thing with the regular savings account, you have access to the card, and whenever you need anything, you can just go and swipe your card, right? But you have other savings account that doesn't really give you the ability to really do that. So you can have your contractual savings account, and this is where you put aside a fixed amount of money every month, and it has to stay in the bank account for a minimum of 1 year. So you can work out whatever amount you want to work out with the bank. There's no limit. So if it is that, okay, you want to put away $1,000 every month, hey, that's what works for you. Victoria Mutual is here to work with you. So you can put away that $1,000 as a fixed amount every month for the minimum period of 1 year. Another savings account that Victoria Mutual offers. You had a question?
No, man. After you finish, I'll
Yeah.
ask.
Okay. So another savings account that Victoria Mutual offers would be the certificate of deposit. And for this one, your funds will remain untouched for a period of time, and they have a specified fixed term for that one. So for example, you can say, all right, I'm going to put this amount of money in the bank, and I want it to stay there for 30 days and let the interest, bill on it. Or you want it to stay for 180 days, or it doesn't matter the amount of days that you want it to stay for, but you can just leave it there. Can't touch it. Has to remain untouched once you put it there and once you sign off to have a certificate of deposit with Victoria Mutual, right? But your interest will grow, and then at the end of that period of time, you can collect back the money if you wish, or you can utilize it to do investments or whatever the case is. And the last savings option will be the long-term savings account, and this is where your funds, you deposit funds in the bank account, and it remains untouched for a minimum of 5 years. Can you imagine putting some money in a bank account and leaving it to grow for 5 years? You know how much money you come back and see? I wish I did that. Could be paying off, university and all these things. But anyway, guys, learn from my mistake and get those savings accounts as soon as possible.
All right. So I'm pretty sure that one question that persons would be asking is, how do I go about opening this account or these accounts? What is needed from what does Victoria Mutual request that we need in order to get these accounts open?
All right, simple things. It's really not hard for you to open a Victoria Mutual account. You must have your ID, a national ID or some form of identification. You must have a TRN. You must have deposit a minimum of $1,000, and you must have Tanaj, help me out here. I'm forgetting the last two.
So you need to have 2 references from persons who are account holders. That's the option. So it can be account holder for a year. I believe a year is the minimum.
Yeah, it's a year.
I believe a year is the minimum.
Yeah, man, it's a year.
Yeah, so you need to have 2 references. Yeah, so 2 references.
So if
So
you
those are
want
things
2
that's needed.
references, say you can just easily go find a VM FET ambassador, faculty of
But
of
social
course.
work, find them. If you can't find a faculty rep, find somebody from UStat and then we link you. You see me? So a very simple process. I know a lot of other places that require way more than this. So when you already have the 2 references, see some money you can turn as here. I'm sure they're willing to help out. So $1,000 soft thing for find TRN and ID. So if you're looking to open an account, here is a platform.
And if it is that you have a steady stream of income, you can provide proof of that as well. So if it is that you have a job and you have, you're getting a steady stream of income, you can provide a job letter to support your application.
All right.
Especially for the certificate of deposit and the long-term savings accounts.
All right. So you've heard it, guys. So another giveaway, and this one will be very easy if you're paying attention. What is, wait, question slip me. So how my question for slip me?
Were you going to ask them about the 4 types of saving account offered at Victoria Mutual?
Well, I was going to ask something easier, but since that question is asked already, let's continue with that one. So what are the 4 types of accounts offered by Victoria Mutual?
Let's see who was listening. I know I wasn't talking too fast enough, so I know you guys could jot it down and,
another gift voucher on the line. So get the free money. Can open a bank account with it as well. Get your saving started ASAP. So here's a way to begin your saving despite COVID. So Jovin, are you here with us as yet, Joe? Jovin not here as yet. Alright, so I'm sure my technical team is working on getting Jovin with us. Alright, so in the interim, we'll take Ronaldo Ramsey, who will be telling us about how to finance our tertiary education. Neither of the gentlemen are here with us. Alright, what about Ronaldo?
Hey man, I'm here. Was outside and the rain started to retreat for indoors.
Yeah man, so how exam a treat you and thing?
Today that was horrible. But yeah, I go and say
Welcome to the
yeah.
University of Stress Indies.
That was good. Hey man, so I'm here. What I'll do is I'll share some information as to the general university studies because of course being here at university is not necessarily an option for everyone. Who want to be here, who can't be here. A lot of us here who don't even know how we're going to continue to be here. And so that's a big issue. You know how you will stay with the fees. So you know if you're carrying the fees.
Hold on. There's a feed. I'm not certain. So I think you might have to repeat what I said before.
Oh, okay. So I'm saying, generally, being here, you is very serious with your fees, and if you don't pay them, if you don't pay the fees, then you end up on the wrong end of that shit that you have the whole deal with you, and the whole deal with you get that. So this is general real estate security and most people aren't
Alright, anyway.
I think something wrong with the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
But until he comes back, I think you can.
Yeah, Tanaj was just checking if you are hearing me.
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you now.
Oh, yeah.
I think we can proceed with the question until he returns and
Yes.
continues with his hosting duties.
Yes, okay. Alright, so one of the first things that we normally think about, and we always go through the lengthy process of applying for annually, most of the times our dreams are crushed because we don't get accepted or we don't get these grants, we don't get these bursaries, we don't get these scholarships. But at the end of the day, it's still important to apply for them because you never know which ones you'll get in the process of applying. Every year, I religiously, when it comes on to the end of the end of final exams, start thinking, all right, what are we going to apply for this year, Ramsey? Are we going to apply for this scholarship, or are we going to apply for that scholarship? Truth is, you might apply for 10 scholarships. One might say that you can get that grant, or you can get that scholarship. A number of them might say, no, we're sorry to, and you get that little email that make you want to really rip up whatever you have looking at in front of you. But at the end of the day, it's important to apply for these scholarships and bursaries, because, and then one of the things, guys, that you need to check out with UA as well, it's really important. UA has a lot of online scholarships. Yes, highly competitive as always, that kind of thing. But there are a lot of bursaries that UA has. There are other bursaries that you can apply for at the OSF office as well. Those bursaries can be used for food, for books, and you can also get tuition grants as well. So there are opportunities there in terms of those bursaries. One of the things that you can actually apply for at UA as well as a UA student is the GK Food Campus. They have a food drive that they normally do, where they normally assist students with with food items. So I think it's every they have a specific period of time that they normally give for you to register for an appointment, for you to collect some food items as well. So those are some things that you could look at, because I'm here to present as much opportunities as I know about, so that you can actually utilize these and make the best of it. So that is one of the things that you can look at. OSF has bursaries, as I said. UA has general bursaries. And there are bursaries from other organizations. You have government bursaries again. You have other organizations that do have. So just try as best as possible to find out where can I go to access bursaries and scholarships. There are apps, or there's sites online as well that you can actually check on and know, all right, this bursary is available to me, and I'll apply, and all of that. So even though the application period might have gone for a lot of scholarships or bursaries, there are still general grants that pop up from time to time. So not because you're in the middle of the semester means that all hope is lost. You get me? There are other opportunities for you to just look out. Government aid, yes. There are different scholarship opportunities from the government that they do have open on a yearly basis. Or again, some of these pop up over time. There are different programs that you can get on with the government. One of the things that you can look at is the uh, path grant, the path bursary that a lot of persons are able to access, which once you have already been on path, or you're still a member, or you're still on path, you can actually apply for that grant and at the Office of Student Financing, and hopefully you are given the opportunity to receive that grant. Uh, Again, guys, there are a lot of bursary opportunities, there are a lot of scholarship opportunities. I know that what some persons have done, I've heard about a few persons who have done it. They've actually been able to assist in funding their tuition to invest in as well. And here's a point now where I can insert a little VM. Yes, of course. There are investment opportunities with the great Victoria Mutual. And all you really have to do is to reach out to one of us as ambassadors. We have our site, so you can actually check our website and find out some of the opportunities. But VM offers you the opportunity to, yes, save, as Monique mentioned earlier, but also to invest through the stock exchange. You can invest in terms of housing a unit trust account as well, that you can actually benefit from compound interest over time. So there are a lot of opportunities there in terms of investing as well. And VM, one of the things that the VM Fed program is really about is assisting you as best as possible to get your financial mindset together. And then not only that, but to ensure that we provide the opportunities for students to actually progress using these financial tools that VM would have carved specifically for us. So again, check out VMBS. We have a lot of opportunities for you, whether it be saving, investing, just general sessions to host to help you in terms of your finances. I know we spoke about developing your goal, working on your goals, savings, the benefits of savings, and all of that. So with investment, Tanaji even spoke about, starting a side hustle. Yes, that's another way for persons to actually contribute to their tertiary studies. So really, every option every legal option and every good option that you can think about to fund your studies, because at the end of the day, once you start, you want to finish. You get me? And a lot of us came here probably not knowing how we'd fund it completely. We only knew that we were stepping in by faith, just like how we're stepping in these exams in faith, hoping that we'll get some good grades. So all we have to do really now is to try as best as possible to look out for these opportunities. Look online. It's a continuous search, guys, because things pop up from time to time, and there are many ways that you can actually fund. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. It's not going to be an easy process, but at the end of the day, you have to try. Because your parents probably don't have it, in abundance to give you. If they do, if they don't, but at the same time, you want to be independent enough to contribute to your studies and to make a lasting impact in that area. So look out for the opportunities, and again, reach out to VM ambassadors, reach out to anybody you can find, really. Um, so that will help you.
And to add to that as well, Ronaldo, the guild also, more specifically the guild SSP usually has, their fresh cash and all. So the guild is always helping out where they can. And I mean, it's not really hard to apply and get it once you're in need. You'll get it. So try, as Ronaldo would have said, try your best. The most they can tell you is no. And I've had persons say, the requirements that they want a 3.5 GPA or a 3, and their GPA is below, and they apply and they still get it because they see the potential in you. So you have to sell yourself to say, all right, I have potential, and I think if you invest in me, then I will do the rest and contribute and do my part. Also, I know persons who reach out to their member of parliament, so of course the government, so they can help as well. So really well, not really any and anybody, but persons who are able to help. So reach out to your member of parliament. They are put in power to help, and youths are the future. So reach out to them if you need some form of assistance, and definitely you can always reach out to the guild as well. I know the Fresh Cash initiative, the deadline has passed, but yeah, always look out for those things. You're always seeing things online. They're having a grant. Any little thing you think you can apply for. The most I can really and truly tell you is no. And if they tell you no, then maybe it just wasn't for you. Maybe there's something bigger there waiting for you. So just apply yourself. You have to invest in yourself so that people will want to invest in you.
All right. So
And just to quickly add to what Latrice had said,
right.
yeah, man, just to quickly add to what Latisha said, the game has a lot of opportunities available to you. I think one of the things that we recently started is the BPSI Opportunity Network. I'd advise most of the students to sign up for that because a myriad of opportunities will be broadcast through that network in terms of internship opportunities, in terms of scholarship opportunities. Just try to keep up to date in terms of what's being offered and what you have access to, because we're all in this together, and most of us don't have the money readily on hand. So try to be in the know and try to stay up to date. And it's always helpful to be involved actually, because being a part of some of these committees, part of these groups actually really help you to get access to that information. They help to build your network, and they broad opportunities that are available to you when you do intend to finance a tertiary education. So that's my advice to you all. Be involved and try to stay abreast of all the information available.
All right, good. So we have a winner for one of our questions, Nakinsky Robinson. So she would have highlighted the four types of accounts that VM has for as available.
Yeah, there's something you have to do.
So So congrats, and here it is again. So congrats, Nakinski. You'll be a rep will reach out to you so you can get your gift voucher. So next we'll be going to how to budget effectively, and I mean budgeting is considered one of you students' worst enemies because once you get the money, the amount of stress or reach you, you just feel say yo start spend and relax and chill. So how do we budget effectively, Jove? And before Jove speak, I have one more giveaway. What? Only one has been answered so far, so I guess I can get the money if they don't answer. Is that so? Me, I can get the money if
No,
they don't
no,
answer,
first
right?
investment, investment,
No.
investment.
No,
No.
no, Jamoy, that's
No.
not fair.
Why not?
Why can't we get the money
Exactly.
if it's
I
that
love
case?
it. How about we ask
So,
you a
so
question, Jamoy?
ask me a question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ask
And
me
if
the
you get it
question.
right,
And if he gets it right, then he can win it. So
Not yet
All
though.
right, ask
Let's
me the
see what
not
question.
now,
Then.
happens.
man.
Ask me the question.
Not
Not
now.
no.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Prepare
So
yourself.
yeah, well prepared. So the next question is name one entity on campus through which you can get aid to help and finance your tertiary education. That's a very easy one. So meantime, Jovin, you can go ahead and teach me how to budget.
all right. So yeah, as I said before, I'll be presenting on budgeting, and honestly, I think that budgeting is one of the most important life skills that anybody can have because how to budget effectively is not only carried out through when you're a young stage, it's not only carried out through your older stage, but something that you bring towards the rest of your life. That's something that you continuously use whilst in your career or at university. But in all honesty, one of the hardest things with budgeting is how to effectively formulate a proper budget and the consistency and the determination to actually stick to that budget. So in terms of what a budget is, just a for expenditure that we use. For example, I get $20,000 for the month. I decided that I'm going to spend $5,000 on $5,000 on transportation, $2,000 for liquor money and party money, and $3,000 saving, and next $5,000 is for extra money in terms of emergencies. But a lot of issues have the issue with when we do decide that we're going to budget, we don't stick to it consistently. If Mr. That may have spent only $2,000 on partying, but then hard one I go on this one. And then master I go on the next week, I guess boy, $1,000 for hard one ticket more look at this. 1,500 for hard one ticket more look at this too. So you're gonna spend the money for hard one and you're gonna spend the money for master. You're going to go into the budget that you had for other purposes. You're going to destroy maybe your savings plan. You're going to destroy maybe what you had intended for other purposes. So one of the most difficult things in terms of budgeting is the determination and the actual consistent to stick to that budget. Because in the university stage, a lot of us, especially while on campus also, we say KFC, for example, and we think serves after I come from class, I can't bother to cook. I go buy a chicken box, I go buy a meal, I go buy a dinner, and just bill for the night. Honestly, most of the time there are things on how we can. There are two alternatives we can buy from the KFC, and there are things, different things we can do in order to budget effectively. So first step in formulating a budget is assessing what you have on you. So if you get $20,000 for the month, you just look on that $20,000 as you look at for the month first. So not what you want to know, what you're going to need for the month. That's the first thing that should be in your budget. So I'm going to need food. I'm going to need transportation money for classes off campus. I'm going to need any for the month. And you make sure that that money is put aside. The needs are sorted out. Then you can decide how you're going to address your wants. But when you're formulating a budget, try to keep the wants as minimal as possible and ensure that what's catered first is your needs. So, while we're on campus, we we always peckish, we always want this and that. If me I go on the road now, me I just said, boy,
Internet issues. All right. So in meanwhile, we'll wait on Jovian and Flo to be friendly with Jovian. He's back.
Back.
Go ahead, Jovian.
yeah man, so Bradley, me know say I'm bridging first time, me just see a comment about KFC. One of the buy KFC, kind of things in the room and you can cook them better. So what you're gonna do now is the next time we go back on campus, right? You're gonna make sure so you buy instead of buying KFC every day, you're gonna buy 2 chicken at that moment. You're gonna buy some rice and you're gonna buy all the things in them and you're gonna put them down in your room. Instead of the KFC one day, you're gonna have food put them in your room for 3 potential days that you have decided to use that money effectively. So that's the importance of budgeting right now. And even after this university stage, in the working world is something that we carry afterwards because it's working. For example, whilst I was in America doing the work and travel program, a relatively good amount of money. But I think with more money usually comes more expenditure. So because you think that you have more money, you think that you have more things in place. But if you don't maintain that budget and don't maintain that same attitude that you would have had before when you were, you know, had less money, then you're going to spend more money again. So, yeah, so keep that same attitude. No matter how much money you have, it's a constant habit that you need to develop from this stage and carry forward to the rest of your life. If I had, when I was in America, I not gonna tell how much money I make. But for example, those US dollars, when I was, I had $8,000 for the month. The same amount of money was to last me for the month. But because I've seen that I now have $1,000 and I do have the same need that I would have had while I was in Jamaica, I can take up more wants with that money. Instead of deciding that I'm going to save this money,
Flo again. All right. So in the meanwhile, while Jovian and Flo sort out their issues, we have a winner for the last question that we asked. Dashane, who said the Fresh Cash program from the Guild. So that is one avenue to aid you in financing your tertiary education. Might not be much, but little is much when God is in it. We also have the OSF who provides a lot of scholarship, and because I normally work, yes, Alessandra, you answer too late in Alessandra, but we feel like some are gonna get the bus safe. So guys, please get your information. Feel like me I get the bus safe because nobody never answer the other question. So I give Alessandra the bus. So the OSF offers a lot of scholarship. Most of the time, these scholarships are under applied for. So while you see the 3.5 and the 4.0 and your eyes start opening up because the University of the Stress thing is not really allowing for you to get those grades. But these scholarships are under applied. So if you are involved and you do what you know you need to do, and you know that you are definitely in need of these scholarships, I would advise you to go ahead and apply. As much as it might seem that, oh, my grade is not there, you might just be the one who is favored over someone whose grade is actually there and applied. So apply and sell yourself the right way. So Jovian Bakas yet? No?
No.
All right. So anybody else can tell me about budgeting until Jovian get back?
I can pick up where he left off. So one thing that I'd mention is it's really important to have expectations in terms of how much you plan to spend on something. So don't just say, you're going to do this and however much you spend. No. So that you expect to spend $5,000. And even if you go over, at least you can look back and say, you know, I went over by this amount. This is how much is going to throw me off. Why did I overspend? What can I do to prevent that next time? So it's really important to set expectations. And then the other key aspect of budgeting, which is really the definition of budgeting in and of itself, is to keep track of. So this is a bit difficult for me because when I spend money, I just spend it if I have it and I need it, I just spend it. But it's really important that you keep a note. I have a little notepad, and every time I get a receipt or I spend money and don't get a receipt, I put it in there. And a lot of the times I'm surprised that I've spent so much money. I say, how did I end up spending so much on taxi fare, or did I spend that much on food? Seriously? And I don't realize because it's the little things that add up over time. So what I would say is don't just think, okay, you know, this is how much I spent off of my head. Keep track of everything. That way, at the end of the month or the budgeting period for you, maybe it's the week, you can say, this is how much I expected to spend. I went over by this much, and it's going to prevent me from saving this amount of money, because the whole purpose of budgeting really is because you want to be able to ensure that you're managing your money and that your money is not managing you. You want to be able to say, I need to save $50,000 this year for whatever project I have. So I need to ensure that I'm budgeting so that I have that extra, the extra funds to save or to invest or to do whatever I need to do. Or maybe you don't really have much money and you have a lot of things to work with. So you may have a tighter budget and you need to ensure that you're keeping track of how you spend every single dollar, because every single dollar counts when you barely have any money.
That's true.
And I mean, like, if you're looking at it like in terms of just general budgeting, it really comes down to prioritizing what do I really spend on. Again, you're at home for most persons. Some persons are probably still on campus because they need to be here. Some persons are, yes, still on your own, and you're still spending money. But the real question is, what are you spending money on? You know, does it mean that you don't need to buy a new suit of clothes because the only place you're getting ready to go is on your veranda for classes? Or should be getting ready to go to is like on your veranda for classes? Or like what are the other things that you're looking at? Does it mean that you don't need to eat more than you really need to be eating so that you know you can save the food stuff so that you don't have to buy a lot? Because I know most of us probably increased our appetite during quarantine. So, you know, simple things like that, guys. Simple things like that, you really need to be looking at what are the ways you can really spend on what is important, but at the same time, try to have something put aside. Yeah, you don't have a steady income right now. You're at home probably or wherever, but you know you don't have that steady flow of cash. So no, you need to really be guarding your money with your life, because you need to look at what you need to be doing after COVID done. You get me?
Mhm.
You know, some a lot of people even think about where they're going to go after COVID, where they're going to what they're going to do when they reach about you or what they're going. Listen to me, you're not going to be able to do it if you don't start saving money. So you know, budget as best as possible, and you know, just try and see how you can make it work. Honestly.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
So
that's important.
with Jovain back, is there a principle to budgeting? How do I know how do I budget?
Alright.
In figures? Do I look on the quantity of money I have? Because as you guys would have highlighted before, the more money I have is I believe that I have a greater spending power. But really and truly, when I start spending, I realize that I waste more money. How should I actually budget?
Alright, so in terms of budgeting, the first thing that you need to assess is what are your needs, what's immediate and what you have to take care of, like can't wait. So if you're living by yourself and you need to pay a light bill, you make sure that the light bill money take out of the money. You make sure that the water bill, that every other bill is taken out. Afterwards, you're left with the spending money. But because you think you have more spending freedom, that doesn't mean that you should be spending more. It means that you should be saving more. It means that you should try to plan as best as possible towards your future with what you have available to you now. So as I said, a lot of us, when actually budgeting, we just we think about what is on us and not the future. And important things about budgeting is to plan towards the future, not just plan towards now. I think that's the main purpose of budgeting too. And make sure say every budget you make portion of it left for saving. There are a multitude of ways you can actually effectively budget. So one of the best ways, as Aldrich would have mentioned in a comment not too long ago, is that to write it down, have enough physical something to look, and always be reminding that, this is what I'm going to be spending for that time period. This is what I'm going to be spending. I aim not to deviate from that. It's best to always have that, and as well as even keeping on your phone, because there are multitude apps on the Play Store that you can have access to, download and add a budget how you're going to plan and spending. And I think that I'd suggest personally when you're budgeting is plan day to day. Because if you decide that you're going to plan, sometimes there unexpected things may pop up and you may deviate from it. But plan day to day and use that day to day plan to have a long term plan. So if I know that for this month, each day I'm spending $500 for transportation, budgeting that, say $500 each day is going to be used in transportation, $200 for that purpose, 500 is going to be used for buying breakfast, you know what I mean? So planning is the most important thing for you. Just make sure you lay out what's available to you, your needs and what you want.
Hmm?
As Ronaldo would say, budgeting important to make sure say you're saving as well. Everything that you do budgeting, make sure you're saving towards the future. So not sure if you
Can I
oh and make sure that
um
All right, so let me see.
while
Go
while
ahead,
he's gone,
Tanas.
I wanted to just add something quickly. I think a lot of persons, when they hear about, oh, make sure you're saving, and investing, they think you have to be a miser and a Grinch and mean with yourself. Like, you can't enjoy money at all. Just make sure that after you deal with your needs, you just put everything aside. No. If you have the money, and when I say have the money, I don't just mean you have the cash where you can actually afford it, because there's a difference between being able to afford something and having the money. No one is saying that you can't buy the nice Tory Burch. No one is saying that you can't go to these events. Nobody's saying you can't do that, but just ensure that when you do it, it's not preventing you from your goals. So understand that when you spend the $20,000 on that sandals and then you say you want to go on a trip next year to Europe, or you want to be a master's and you don't see where the money is coming from, just understand that that action can prevent you from getting to that goal. So there's nothing wrong with wanting nice things and treating yourself when you have money, but just understand that you need to budget for it and ensure that it's something you can afford and it doesn't get in the way of any of your priorities and your goals. I just wanted to make that note. It's okay to spend money on yourself.
And to add to that as well, as Tanaj would have said, I mean, if you want a Tory bird, say it's your birthday coming up and you actually, for the females, you want a Tory bird, or for the males, you want,
Clark.
I think it's the PS5 now, or the Clarks, or, all them something there, then that can be a plan. Put it down and say, all right, I don't buy them expensive something this. I wouldn't know the cost. But say it's $15,000 for the Tory Bird, or $50,000 for the PS5. Then you need to say, all right, how am I going to be able to afford this? All right, I want it by 3 months time, 6 months time, and I am going to set aside savings towards it. And when I say savings, I mean you're just savings for that alone. So that don't mean you're going to go into your savings
For your house and
you're not putting down money or whatever. Yeah, you need to. That is why you have to create a plan and your budget to know exactly what you want. You have to learn to live within your means as well. So if your friend come tomorrow and say, all right, I buy a PS5 or I buy a Tory Burch or a Bridget's or whatever, and you know you can't afford it, then you just settle yourself with the slippers you have. As my father would say, you don't need a lot of clothes. You repeat your clothes. When you repeat your clothes, it shows that it's ownership. When you wear it one time, it's not yours because you have to give back to the person. So if you have to wear your slippers and the shoes, and you have to work with the PS2 and the PS4 until you work with it, and until it's your time, and nobody can take the time from you.
Amen.
So you just have to wait. You just have to wait your turn, and also ensure you have an emergency fund. I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but emergency fund is definitely key, especially with this pandemic. A lot of persons would have been just spending, and they probably get laid off from work now, and I know persons would have been investing or in a partner or something. Lunch money get cut now. Where you're going to get the income from to continue with all this? So ensure you have a little emergency fund there where it should be can last you for up to 6 months. I mean, as university students, we probably won't be able to have a fund to last us to 6 months. But if it's even at 2 or 3 months, then that don't bad at all. So once you're living within your means, don't rely on nobody, don't watch what nobody else say. Just ignore the background noise and everything and just focus on you. And I saw someone comment that, spend less and invest more. So do that, and then maybe you can retire by 30 and you're living your life, and you can buy all the Tory Burch and all the PS5, and then all them
Yeah.
wonderful things there. You travel the world and all them something there. So when it's your time, it's definitely your time.
Yeah. Goals,
Alright,
your goals.
so
Yeah, man.
I've heard you guys said afford live within your means and do what you can afford. How do you know when you can actually afford something? Is there a principle to it, or well, I have the money right now, I can actually buy this, I'm gonna buy this. Is that what affordability is?
Jay-Z says you
All right.
can't
So
buy it 3 times, you can't buy it.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it like that. But I mean, it all
Budget.
goes back to your budget same way. So alright, so when you budget now and you already have your money set aside for your groceries, all your needs and all them something there,
Your
right?
savings.
And your savings, of course. Listen, the first thing you must do is pay yourself when you get income. And paying yourself don't mean go to KFC or anywhere. The first, paying yourself means to save. So you take out your savings, you take out your little money for your groceries, your credit, your whatever needs you have, and then when you have money leave over now, and you can say, all right, I'm able to afford this. If I buy this month, me not go broke. I think a lot of us have this mentality, especially as young people, that me waste my money on foolishness already. Bruff tonight and broke a morning. Like what? No, no. So if you should be able, if you can afford it, then you can spend it. And tomorrow call your mother, or beg somebody, or think of illegal ways to get money to survive. So once you're able to sort out your needs, them buy it if you want, and then you're not worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. Then that's how you know. Then yes, you can afford it.
Anything else to add before
as I think,
your millionaire stable without flow?
yeah, man.
No,
I mean,
let's say.
yeah, man. This online school thing really rough with the flow Wi-Fi, but in terms of adding to what Lakeisha said, as young people, a lot of us seem to think that we have, our entire future ahead of us, so we don't need to plan effectively right now. We think that right now is what we have is important. We live in the moment. We don't think about what happens after this moment. So say we have $100 today. We have a bracket, we have to go party, we have to say, oh, let's buy it. What happens after you spend that 100,000? What's the plan after that? So that's one of the important stuff of game. In terms of your budget hierarchy, what's at the top is your needs, right? What's right after that is the savings. So make sure first that you establish your next first. Then at the bottom is your wants. So all that partying, all that kitchen, everything that is not that doesn't need to be addressed. Right, that doesn't affect your future. It's at the bottom, right? So what's important is making sure that your needs are established and making sure that you set aside something for your future with saving. At the bottom, as I said, the bottom of the hierarchy is your wants. What you can live without doesn't need to happen right now.
All right. So you've heard it, guys. Final question for today and giveaways is, what is the purpose of, well, have two actually. What is the purpose of budgeting? and what is the process of budgeting. So it was lovely having you guys here today. If there's any final words that you guys want to share, go ahead. You guys can go ahead. No final words.
All right. If I may, I would just suggest, guys, treat. All right. So yes, you're here with you have courses that you're doing. You have courses that you have to do in coursework, exams, mid semesters, final exams, all that for. Treat your life with that level of importance. Just also you want to get, well, even more importance actually. If, as much as you want to get that grade or you want to pass that exam or you want to get this coursework finished to hand in, that's how you should be looking at your life process in terms of your goals. So look at it this way: I need to be making my own deadlines. You can't just be making the lecturers' deadlines, but not making your own personal life deadlines. You get me? So ensure that whatever option is there, you utilize those options to ensure that you can make your life goal. You can make it get the deadline. So if by tomorrow you want to have this, if by next week you want to have that, then those are some of the things that you should look at. Treat it like a course. Treat this financial thing like an additional course that you're doing. You need to be doing research. Look online, search and search and search. Even though you might not be seeing the information readily, ask around. Again, reach out to persons who you know is involved with these organizations and can actually get you more information. Again, treat it seriously so that you can actually get your stuff together, because the quicker you get your stuff together is the better it is for you in the long run and the more successful you can be at whatever you're doing. So those are some of the things that I'd probably say as a final word, guys. All the best. Hope mid semesters don't kill you too much. There are greater days to come and you can start with shining. Isn't it?
So, final words from Azia,
Um,
at least.
one thing that I'll add, we didn't speak too much on investing in terms of stocks and equity. But what I will say is the biggest investment that you can make now with no money at all is in learning, education. And I know a lot of us are in school because want a career, but that's just not enough. It's just not going to cut it. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that a lot of the things that you're going to learn, you have to do independently. So as Ronaldo said, there are resources out there, whether it's books, whether it's shows, whether it's YouTube videos. Try and find information so that you may not have the money now, but when you do have the money, you know how to invest it. Try and understand the Jamaica stock exchange. Try and understand foreign markets more, so that when you're in a position to be able to invest in the way that you'd like, because you can start now with even $5,000. But what I'd say before anything, research and try and get as much knowledge as possible. The biggest investment you can make is in yourself. And the best way to do that now as a student with no money is to, up your knowledge. So that's my little tip. And as Ronaldo said, all the best in your exam.
Yeah, and I'll also add, you have to be intentional in everything and anything that you're doing. So, all those goals you have, put it down. You're the only one who's going to really and truly believe in yourself. So you have to believe in yourself first. And it's not just believing, you have to have a plan and ensure that you're sticking to it. Consistency is key. There's no one that's going to be behind you to say, hey, you need to ensure, say, say, why you spending money, why you do this, why you do that. You have to be your own accountability partner. If you're able to have an accountability partner, then that is even great as well. But ensure that everything that you do, you're intentional with it, and you're not just flossing because or braffing or whatever because you have the money. Even if you have the money, you still need to spend the money wisely and plan ahead. Anything is possible. So whenever you're planning, ensure they're like actual plans, not just big plans. So small steps and then make big impact. So if you realize the plan is really and truly big, then break it down. I know Tana would have mentioned that earlier. Break it down into smaller, so you achieve, you climb up step 1, step 2, and by the time you reach, you've bought the car that you've always wanted. You buy the house. I know persons who at 21 they were able to own a house. I'm 22, and the only thing I own is, boy, what me own myself, my body. That is really and truly, that is all I can say. I actually, truly and truly own. So look at those people, and not just that. Don't go on Instagram. You see them people here are goat and all them something there. You say, oh yeah, me want be like she, or me want be like him. I want go hotel every weekend and them something there and all them something. They make actual plans, actual goals that will benefit you in the long run. So invest in yourself, because you don't want to be 60 and still working. You don't want to be 50 and still working. I know a lot of us want to retire at 30. My mom is what, 45? And me tell her, say, as me done work, just know say you stop work, because I don't feel like you need to be, she's invested enough in me. Now is my time to, invest in her. And I'm investing in myself so that I'm able to, take care of her and do all these things and make sure go braff and all them something there. So ensure that all the plans, you're intentional with all the plans, and stick to it. Spend more, invest in yourself. The best investment is investing in yourself.
All right, Jovi, quick before we attack. Talk too late. Wow. All right. So
Jamo, is your fault.
always my fault. Put the blame on me. All right. I saw someone attempted one of the questions. I didn't get the chance to read, but if your answers are correct, we'll try our best to reach out to you. So we don't often have money talks, and it's very rare to find anything going on as it relates to financial education. So if you are here today, just want to know, yes. So Taj, I'm not Miss Irons. You are correct. I'm not going to try and twist my tongue.
Ajani,
That name there. So so someone will be contacting you. All right. So as I was saying, we don't have these talks regularly, and we know that formal education alone can't take you out of poverty, especially because you have formal education, you'll have an income, but when you get the income, you don't know what to do with it. So if you are here right now and watching this, I wanted to give a shout out to the VM FET ambassadors, give a shout out to the Faculty of Social Sciences, because they are on a drive to ensure that you know how to empower yourself financially. So give them a shout out, much love, much appreciation. Special shout out to Chanel Graham, who is the treasurer for the Faculty of Social Sciences. Yeah, man, you can give her the big up in the chat, You see me? Shout her up, because she has ensured that throughout the years so far that we have actually opened up these opportunities to teach others. And if you are here, big up yourself too. Big up yourself. That's one less course or one less mistake that you'd have to make in life in order to learn. So thank you all for tuning in. This is Jomoy Phillips, Deputy Treasurer for Faculty of Social Science Guild Committee. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
bye.
Guys.
All the best.
All the best on your exams. Don't make you stressing out. All for tuning. Big episode, Jamar. Marvelous hosting this evening. And do enjoy the rest